He's the acceptable monster at this time. Like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch. The TD Jakes at the Diddy party.
Yeah.
What'd I say? Money. And
TD Jake, a prominent pastor, author, and filmmaker, is currently facing allegations against Diddy, a rapper and singer. The allegations suggest that Jake was involved in illegal activities, as per Rodney Jones' complaint. Diddy has been accused of multiple civil lawsuits, but Jake has denied any involvement. Whistleblowers like Jaguar have been sharing information about his recreational activities. The debate is ongoing online regarding Bishop TD Jake, who has been accused of intimate acts with other men at Diddy's parties. Jakes has been a visible public attendant at Diddy's parties, making it difficult for him to escape the allegations. Although no allegations directly target Jake, the activities during those events have sparked speculation. Diddy parties have been notorious for being on the wild side for years, but the recent lawsuits involving laced drink and underage women have put things into perspective.
The trial has the potential to force Sean Combs to finally be honest about some things that he hasn't.
A recent lawsuit has stirred the pot. Any truth to these claims? Let's dive deeper.
Lately, sparking a lot of conversation. Diddy was accused of saying singer Cassie Ventura, and the word has it that she has allegedly turned over a flash drive and video to the FBI that incriminates Jake as participating in gay intimacy with men and young boys anyway. You might not remember that Cassie's December complaint claimed that Jake was participating in parties hosted by Combs in unverified reports on social media, while Jakes responded to the reports in a Christmas Eve service at the Potter's house, saying the worst that could happen if everything was true, all I got to do is repent sincerely from my heart, there is enough power in the blood to cover all kinds of sin. I don't care what it is, the blood would fix it, but I ain't got to repent about this. Not only that, Jake was also mentioned in the Rodney Jones lawsuit. The complaint alleged that Jones has irrefutable evidence of Combs detailing how he planned to leverage his relationship with Bishop T. Jakes to soften the impact on his public image of Cassie Ventura's lawsuit. It's possible that Jake's attendance at Diddy's parties is only a purging tactic, but reports suggest otherwise because of his attendance at those infamous gatherings. Under the pretense of reaching the channel's younger audience, Diddy announced a brand new, exclusive sermon series in 2021. Jake said, "This partnership with Revolt is a great opportunity to further expand our reach to a younger generation." In the last year or two, many young people have been adversely affected by a mix of economic woes and a pandemic both here in the United States and around the world. I'm looking forward to an allegiance that engages with this unique audience while also uplifting and empowering them in any case. When Diddy was forced to resign from his position as chairman, Jake allegedly broke his word. This is why it is said that Jake's support for Diddy and his network was motivated by money. But Diddy stated in the wake of Cassie's lawsuit that he wanted to step down because the accusations made against him were damaging his network's reputation. At one of his lectures, Jake attempted to clarify his reputation by saying, "You can think about whatever you want to think about. I didn't come to convince you or anybody because I know who I am. I showed up for work, obeyed my boss's orders, and heard him congratulate his wonderful and faithful worker." Jake has made many attempts to disassociate himself from his role in the Diddy incident, this being neither the first nor the second. Jake withdrew himself after the first accusations and released a statement via a spokesman claiming that the claims against him were completely untrue and unfounded. However, Jake's supporters think there could be other variables involved. You see, the reason Jake is making claims left and right TD is because it's probable that Diddy sent information about the bishop to the federal authorities. Since Jakes is associated with the accusations, a fan inquired, "Why is the Shade Room blogging about the Diddy problem right now? Why are you guys talking about Meek and Diddy when you guys should be wondering where TD Jakes is at? Consider if he negotiated a pact to rescue his empire after his mentor or close friend betrayed him." Unofficial updates on the case are purportedly being provided by Larry Reed, who gives Jake a week to respond to Manasseh, a prophet, who wants to make a claim that Jake used and conditioned him.
There was supposed to be $1 million that Zip was supposed to bring back, but he ended up keeping the money and buying a nightclub with it.
That's what the FBI said.
The FBI said that.
Yeah.
You guys never got any money
Never.
for anything.
Alright, Jaguar, now that all of the accusations have been shown to be true, people have been attempting to get in touch with Wright, who has been one of the few reliable informants who has been able to decipher Diddy's antics from the start. Jaguar disclosed that the day of the raid, she received a lot of attention. However, the higher-ups who supported Diddy did not want Jaguar to become public, so they tried to intimidate her into suppressing her voice by claiming that she was emotionally vulnerable and that she wanted to disappear. Jaguar has stated that she had attended Diddy's parties several times and that she was fully aware of the filthy shenanigans that take place at these events. So before you criticize her for going, consider this. Jaguar clarified that no one used to stop her from entering because she was an industry insider, and guess what she did to get people out of there so they wouldn't fall for Diddy's schemes. She also claimed that the partygoers were given large amounts of illegal substances.
3 powerful and full coloring.
And just when you
Jaguar,
thought it couldn't get any more
insider,
dramatic,
claimed to have known Cassie's intentions long before the lawsuit arose. She revealed that she was close with people around Cassie, who allegedly informed her about her relationship with Diddy. Jaguar was also part of the Diddy party, working closely with Jay-Z. She explained that the only thing happening at the party was wild intimacy, with Diddy having people in compromising positions due to the facilities he provided. He would then catch them on tape and use it to his advantage. These freak-off parties were common for up-and-coming rappers and entertainers. Jock, who spoke truth about Diddy's activities, revealed the real story behind Cassie's iconic cut. He told him that Diddy and Cassie were at a club when Diddy noticed a dancer with half of her head shaved. Diddy turned to Cassie and asked for her hair like that. Cassie replied, "I do whatever Sean tells me to do." Keefe ID, who had openly claimed responsibility for Tupac's death, was finally apprehended last year. He revealed that Diddy oversaw the entire operation, supposedly paying him $1 million to plan Tupac's tragic end. It may be that Sean Combs is actually panicking on the inside.
Catch me partying with Diddy, I ain't TD Jakes, and Kirk Franklin scared to call Bell because he fake. I was in Tokyo getting in them scriptures, you can go ask Jay.
The things have come full circle as Jaguar revealed that if the try went as she expected Diddy to be forced to allegedly admit his involvement. Key had repeatedly claimed that Diddy was set on elimination and that he found Diddy's urgency crazy, that was stupid as hell. He said he'd give us anything for these guys' heads, you know, and he said it in front of all those people. I couldn't believe it when he told me I wanted $1 million.
He's a sucker. He's got guns and he's got semen-coated VHS tapes.
When Jaguar disclosed Diddy's purported involvement in Tupac's death, she clarified that the media outlets did not cover the whole raid. Contrary to what the media's made us believe, Jaguar asserted that Diddy's New York house was also raided that day. She hinted that the feds may have wanted to keep their visit to New York a secret. The armed forces asserted that the feds failed to notify the officers taking part in the raid that they were visiting Diddy's mansions. And speculated that this could be the case because Diddy had ears everywhere. It was believed by insiders that Diddy had sacrificed more people than only Tupac following the raid, and the feds planned to cuff him immediately after. However, Diddy had already left when they arrived. According to Jaguar, there is a long list of rappers who have been redacted that were far more skilled than today's rappers, but were removed in some manner. Big L is one of the rappers on the list. In a previous interview, Jaguar said that Diddy had supposedly given Jay-Z his resources to get rid of Big L. She stated, "Sean Carter, I think Big L never lied to me. Everything he ever told me is true. Lamont never lied to me, and the last time I saw him, he warned me not to trust you, that your greatest sin is coveting Sean Carter, that you are a coveter, and that as soon as he got home, his mother was so scared that we had to show up at the Tay Diddy raid and lawsuits." So, Diddy's downfall started in November 2023, when recording artist Cassie filed a civil complaint in federal court in New York City, claiming that Combs had assaulted and restrained Venture during their relationship, and that Venture was allegedly held down by Mr. Combs and endured more than 10 years of his violent behavior and disturbing demands. In a statement to the New York Times, Combs claimed that he was romantically interested in Ventura. The complaint further claimed that Combs blew up rapper Kid Cudi's car. A spokesman from QE verified the claims, stating that although he settled a day after Ventura filed, the damage had already been done. The lawsuit incited numerous other victims to come forward with their allegations in a single civil suit. Joyful Dickerson Neal claimed that Combs had deceived and harassed her in 1991 while she was a college student. The lawsuit complaint sought compensation for the harm she had endured as a result of being deceived by Say and Aid, as well as for being the victim of Sean's alleged creation and distribution of revenge porn. In a statement released by Homeland Security International, the agency stated that it has the authority to look into the illegal movement of people, goods, money, technology, and contraband, including Saint. The most likely reason for the Diddy raid was the numerous intimate crimes that have been brought against him in a number of lawsuits. Diddy Combs was paid a surprise visit by federal agents from the United States at 2 of his homes. Homeland Security is leading the investigation. Aaron Dyer, Combs' attorney, released a statement saying any speculation about the raids leads to a premature rush to the judgment of Mr. Combs. He asserted that the over-the-top military-level search, which was conducted at Coles' properties, showed hostility towards his client. He claimed that Combs' employees and family members were subjected to harsh behavior without any provocation. In addition to that, he tried to clean Coles' name as much as possible. He claimed that since Combs was never detained but spoke to and cooperated with authorities, he is not guilty by any means. He explained that, despite media speculation, neither Combs nor any of his family members have been arrested, nor has their ability to travel restricted in any way. Not only that, but he asserted that there has been no findings of criminal or civil liability with any of the allegations. However, his claims have been nothing but lip service, as the rumors of Diddy being involved in shady business have been around for years, and for the public, the raid amounted to many admissions of guilt. Not to mention, ironically, his Revolt channel was the first to completely cut ties with him. In November, Collins was forced to temporarily resign from his position as chairman. Despite this being a precautionary measure, the network issued a strong statement stating that he was not involved in the day-to-day operations of the channel. In addition, at least 18 businesses have distanced themselves from Diddy's recently launched e-commerce website Empower Global, a marketplace for Black-owned businesses. The statement reads, Sean Combs has stepped down from his position as chairman of Revolt. Mr. Combs has previously had no operational or day-to-day role in the business. This decision helps to ensure that Revolt remains steadfastly focused on our mission to create meaningful content for the culture and amplify the voices of all Black people throughout this country and the African diaspora. Our focus has always been one that reflects our commitment to the collective journey of Revolt, one that is driven by shared efforts and values of our entire team in favor of advancing, elevating, and championing our culture. A reality series about Diddy and his 7 children was canceled by Hulu as a result of the lawsuits filed against him. Not to mention that the public tuition-free charter school that Diddy co-founded chose to sever ties with him last November. They stated that they had come to this decision following a thorough assessment of Cassie's allegations. Aside from that, fans think Jake is scared because his true identity has been revealed and he believes his excuses sound genuine. This simply demonstrates the strength and protection he believes he possesses. He has placed himself so highly on a pedestal by his supporters, and as a result, he believes this to be a valid explanation. It's frightening to see what happens when you play with God's wrath. Beyonce's sister Solange threatens Jay-Z after forcing Beyonce to stay with him.
And the more drugs he pumps down his wife's throat to keep her in a character.
No, girl. Not my beautiful Beyonce.
I tell you this right now, y'all talking about free Britney. Y'all need to be doing a campaign that say free Beyonce.
Beyonce is free.
She is a prisoner in a gilded cage.
Sometimes it's overwhelming. Why God give me my talent, my gift, my family. But I know you're not supposed to question God. So I'm grateful for the life He's given me. I'm so grateful. I'm alive and I'm living a dream.
Sean Carter is worse. He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy. This been lining up people he calls friends and stepping to the side while they get hit by the guillotine for 30 years.
Solange Knowles and Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z, have a tumultuous relationship that has lasted for a very long time. We're talking about enough animosity to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool, but Solange has never really put her nose into her sister. But Beyonce's marital drama with Jay-Z, she's kept a distance, allowing them to work through their issues. But now that things have taken a serious turn, there are rumors that Giga is essentially using her influence to force Beyonce to stay in an extremely unhealthy situation. We're talking about abuse here. Not just your typical marital arguments, and guess what? Solange isn't having it anymore. Nope, not at all. Suddenly, she's gone from being a bystander to full-on superhero mode, protecting her girlfriends without holding back. It's like a real-life soap opera, except with a lot more star power and fewer commercial breaks. Solange is getting ready to take on Jay-Z's head-on and seek justice for her sister. For those of you who don't know, these two are the definition of sister goals. You can't conceive of one without the other, so strap up, people, because things are about to get very hot in the Nels Carter universe. Beyonce has been in the public eye since Destiny's Child days, but she has always made sure Solange had her moment too. Recall their joint tours, when Solange performed on stage with Queen Bey, or their collaboration on Get Me Bodied, which epitomizes sibling collaboration at its best. Therefore, when he entered the picture, he probably realized pretty quickly that he wasn't just dating Beyonce, rather, he was getting the whole Knowles package deal. Trust me, there's no separating these two, a dynamic duo that is always there for each other through thick and thin. Once she's all about that laid-back vibe, Solange has a calm and collected demeanor that seems unbreakable, maybe due to her upbringing in the limelight and her adept management of fame. However, her current persona is really remarkable, as she possesses an unquenchable fire inside. It's tellable she doesn't hesitate to express her opinions and defend her beliefs, but she shut down a reporter when she brought up Jay-Z's club drama during the album promo. That's classic Solange right there, refusing to take any crap. And let's not forget about her Twitter confrontation with Katy Perry over the video of that California girl. That's the thing with Solange. Even if it means upsetting some people, she's not hesitant to speak out what she views as a negative influence on the children. Solange wasn't having any of it. Her confrontation with Jay-Z, yes, you heard it correctly. This was unprecedented family drama. I mean, who could forget that jaw-dropping elevator showdown between Jay-Z and Solange Knowles after the 2014 Met Gala? Now Beyonce, Sean, and Solange were all leaving this big shot after party at the Standard Hotel in OIC. Right, everything seems cool until bam, things take a wild turn. But get this, we didn't even find out about it until a week later when TMZ dropped this bombshell video, and let me tell you, it was like something out of a thriller. There's Solange going full on ninja on him, kicking and swinging like it's nobody's business. And where's Beyonce and all this, just chilling on the sidelines, looking like she's waiting for her Starbucks order or something. The paparazzi caught them leaving the building, and let me tell you, Solange, she looked like she was ready to spit fire. It was like a real-life soap opera playing out right before our eyes. And the best part, we still don't know what set it all off, but hey, in the world of celeb drama, sometimes you just got to sit back and enjoy the show. Am I following the world-shaking elevator showdown? The Knowles Carter clan managed to keep things relatively calm. You know what? Hush hush, but leave it to Solange to break the silence like a boss. She didn't finally spill the beans on that until August 2014, when she spoke with Lucky magazine. Of course, being Solange, she didn't go into all the gory details. Instead, she kept it brief and sweet, cutting straight to the chase, and then dropping the mic with a reference to that joint statement they released when the elevator video went viral. Although Solange's message focused on making amends and moving ahead as a single, happy family, Beyonce is known for applying her unique flair to whatever she does. So how did Queen Bey handle the situation as a whole? Fiasco. You're going to like this one. Jay-Z and Beyonce weren't going to let the drama in the elevator fade into obscurity without adding a little flair. Of course, they had their own methods of dealing with the problem at hand. Beyonce stirring up the beehive with her remix of Flawless in August 2014. She dropped this bombshell lyric, of course. Sometimes goes down when there's $1 billion on an elevator. Boom, the internet explodes. Leave it to Queen Bey to turn scandal into a catchy lyric, but Jay-Z wasn't about to stay silent either. Fast forward to 2017, and he's dropping truth bombs on his album 444, and the track killed Jay-Z. He spits some real talk, wrapping you egg Solange on knowing all along all you had to say you was wrong. Even in the midst of all that drama, Carter wasn't shy about speaking his truth. Around the release of his 444 album, he sat down for a real talk interview with the Rap Radar crew. And what did he have to say about his relationship with Solange? Well, he kept it real. As always, according to the Rap, he and Solange have always had a solid bond. Sure, there was that one infamous disagreement, the elevator incident that broke the internet, but art from that blip, they've been tight as ever. In fact, he went as far as to say that Solange is more than just a sister-in-law to him. She's family, period. Now, that's some serious loyalty right there. But Beyonce, oh, she wasn't about to let her sis slip under the radar either. Enter her 2022 single Cozy, where she drops this bombshell line, "Might I suggest you don't with my is cuz she comfortable." Fans went wild, convinced Beyonce was throwing some serious shade at anyone who dared mess with Solange. And you know what, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of Beyonce's wrath either. For years, Beyonce him have meticulously crafted an image of the perfect power couple, from red carpet appearances to Instagram posts showcasing their seemingly flawless relationship. They've kept up the facade with precision. Even after the infamous elevator incident, they were quick to patch things up, publicly presenting a united front to the world. Beyonce in particular has been the master of keeping up appearances. She's the epitome of grace under pressure, always ready with a smile and a carefully curated statement to smooth over any rough patches. After the elevator fight, she wasted no time in trying to douse the flames, working behind the scenes to downplay the drama and maintain their picture-perfect image. Some even claim that they made an effort to silence others.
Hardly nobody knows, but I say it, man. Yeah, Beyonce's on drugs. She been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way. Y'all wish it what you wish it to stay on top. But there's one thing about me, bro. I can't be bought.
However, it seems that they are struggling to maintain their appearances. Despite their best attempts, it is becoming more difficult to ignore the holes in their facade, as reports of Jay-Z's coercive conduct and Beyonce's forced accommodations in abusive situations surface. Things are obviously getting out of hand.
Their relationship has been more of a business to the outside world than an actual relationship. Now, to them, it may be a relationship, but it was presented to the world and it feels more corporate.
With the pressure mounting and the truth coming to light, the once perfect pair is now facing their hardest hurdle to date. It remains to be seen whether they can weather this storm together. No number of well-manicured Instagram pictures or red carpet appearances can conceal the reality anymore. The hard reality of Beyonce and Jay-Z's turbulent relationship may prove to be more than their meticulously manicured facade, as the media has begun to voice concerns about their public persona. When discussing Beyonce and the rapper's struggles to keep their personal drama under wraps, Howard Bragman, a PR guru with extensive experience, did not hold back. Essentially, he said, "Look, even with all the money and power in the world, they couldn't keep a lid on it." That says something, right? And he has a point. Imagine attempting to conceal your issues like Beyonce and him do, knowing that everyone is watching every move you make, says Bragman. One person wrote on X, "I'm sorry, but literally nothing about Beyonce and Jay-Z's relationship should be treated as aspirational or goals, and now Queen Bee is finally taking a stand for herself. Yep, it looks like things are heating up behind closed doors for Beyonce and Jay-Z. If they really wanted to keep things quiet, they would have to live in a bubble of private limos, secluded mansions, the works. But let's face it, once they step outside, it's like a deer in hunting season. Paparazzi and media, they seem to be preparing for a confrontation that may lead to the dissolution of their union. Rumor has it that both of their teams are playing media games, leaking different tales to various outlets. The New York Daily News is reporting that Jay-Z is ready to end things and that Beyonce is the one who is ready to quit. Meanwhile, Page 6 is criticizing Beyonce and suggesting that she is the one who is ready to pull the plug. The couple's cozy Instagram and Twitter photos are revealed to be a carefully constructed facade meant to maintain appearances, but the real bombshell is that they appear to be waiting for things to settle before making a joint statement, according to this news source. It's the rapper who's had enough of playing pretend and is ready to call it quits on their marriage. They're saying it's just a matter of time before they go their separate ways, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife, but while Beyonce might be cool with the world knowing about Jay-Z's affairs, because let's face it, she's Queen Bey and she can handle anything Jay-Z. seems to be over all the drama. He's fed up with the rumors swirling around their relationship and just wants the tour to end, so he can put an end to the speculation once and for all. Now, here's where things get juicy. Is Jay-Z really willing to sacrifice their brand and their family just to avoid a few pesky rumors? Or maybe, just maybe, he's tired of living under a microscope and wants to enjoy a little peace and quiet, and maybe a few flings on the side without all the drama. Either way, it looks like Beyonce and his fairy tale romance might be headed for a not so happily ever after, and this isn't new stuff in the business. The allegations circulating about Beyonce and Jay-Z's relationship have long since become background noise. It's as if their marriage is more about business than passion, like this open secret.
I think everybody that knows Sean Carter knows that he will slump anyone in any relationship for $1. Look at how he did Dame. Like, I don't give a fuck if you wanted to get away from your homie, if you wanted to get away from your partner, but to do it the way he did it, it's malicious.
I mean, think about it. They're both music moguls, running their own empires and constantly in the spotlight. Sure, they've always presented themselves as this power couple, but who knows what's really going on behind closed doors? There's this idea floating around that their relationship is more like a business arrangement than a love story, like they're together because it's good for their careers and their image, not necessarily because they're madly in love. It's like they've been selling us this fairy tale romance, but maybe it's all just for show. When you're living in the spotlight, it's easy to get caught up in playing a role you know, and maybe they got so wrapped up in maintaining their image as the ultimate couple that they lost sight of what really matters in a relationship: genuine connection and love. Plus, now the controversies swirling around Jay-Z are like a storm that just won't let up, overshadowing his legacy in the music industry. From rumors of infidelity to disturbing allegations of sexual misconduct, there's a lot of unsettling stuff bubbling beneath the surface. Yep, there's all this gossip flying around about him, her husband's current behind-the-scenes issues. Beyonce's been standing by him through thick and thin, but lately, it's like the truth is catching up. She's seeing all these stories in the media, and it's hitting her hard. Maybe she's realizing she doesn't want to be linked to all that mess anymore. It's got to be tough, you know, dealing with fame and trying to keep your personal life in check. But maybe Beyonce's reaching a point where she's had enough. She's this powerhouse, and she's got to decide what's best for her and her family, even if it means making some tough calls. So as she's scrolling through those headlines, you can almost feel her thinking, is it time to walk away? It's like she's weighing her options, trying to figure out if she can still stand by Jay-Z, or if she's better off going solo in more ways than one. There's all this talk about his name popping up in Diddy's federal RICO case, and apparently the feds are taking a closer look at Jay-Z's past, with all the allegations flying around: murder, blackmail. You name it, things could get seriously dicey for him. And guess what? Beyonce seems to be feeling the heat too. After more than 2 decades together and 16 years of marriage, she's reportedly moving forward with divorce plans. Resembles Solange, Beyonce's sister, might be feeling vindicated. She's been pushing Beyonce to kick Jay-Z to the curb for ages, and it seems like she's finally getting her wish. And why won't she? This isn't Sean Carter's first controversy. There was this one particularly troubling story about him involving Tiara Marie, a young artist signed to his label when she was just 16. Her sudden disappearance from the music scene raised eyebrows, especially in light of a lawsuit filed by Cassie against Diddy that seemed to unearth deeper issues within the industry. But it's a viral blind item that's really set tongues wagging. It suggests that the rapper had a romantic involvement with Tiara Marie when she was underage, and that Beyonce's reaction to this alleged relationship played a role in Jay-Z cutting ties with Tiara, effectively sidelining her from the industry for years. And to make things even messier, there are rumors dragging Ray J into the mix, painting a picture of a complex web of manipulation and power dynamics. After her, there was Foxy Brown, and these are serious accusations, especially the one about Foxy being involved when she was so young, and Beyonce too. That's got to be a lot for her to handle, especially with all the talk about their age gap and Jay-Z's past. Even in the beginning of their relationship, there were troubles that cracked the foundation of it all. There were allegations of Jay-Z's infidelity, and because of that, Beyonce had a huge heartbreak. Ever since then, their relationship has been under a microscope for a while now. I mean, Beyonce even poured her feelings into her album Lemonade, addressing the pain of her husband's betrayal. But despite it all, they've stayed together. Some say it's because of the empire They've built as a power couple with a combined net worth of $3.3 billion. It's not hard to see why they might want to stick it out. It seems like their marriage has evolved into more of a business partnership. In some ways, sure, there may be tension behind closed doors, but they're pros at keeping up. Appearances in public, they've got a family to think about 2-3 kids who they've welcomed into the world since they tied the knot in 2008, but they can't hide their __ anymore, as many are exposing their relationship lately. 50 Cent's been stirring up some serious drama by claiming Jaguar and Beyonce might be involved in some pretty dark stuff, like ritual sacrifices. Crazy, right? This feud between 50 Cent and Jaguar has got the whole music industry buzzing. I mean, Jay-Z and Beyonce used to be seen as these unstoppable forces in music, but now insiders are stepping up with some pretty disturbing stories. It's shedding light on a less glamorous aspect of their ascent. Despite how outrageous these accusations seem, some fans and business people are beginning to question if they have any validity. 50 Cent has been claiming for years that Sean and Beyonce will stop at nothing to succeed in the music business. It's all a bit of a mess, but with every new accusation, it seems like we're seeing a glimpse behind the scenes of fame and fortune in the music business, and let me tell you, it's not always pretty. Moreover, 50 Cent isn't making this stuff up. There have been some eerily coincidental events involving Big L and Aaliyah. Big L, a well-known rapper with connections to Jay-Z's early days, who met a tragic end that raised eyebrows among some. The circumstances surrounding his death were so murky that some people questioned if Sean Carter had a role. In addition, Aaliyah is a true R&B legend. Her demise was tragic, but much more unsettling are rumors that she may have been killed so that Beyonce and Jay-Z could live. That's a lot of weight to even fathom, which is what makes these accusations so terrifying. Even more intriguing is the fact that people who were close to the rapper in the past are now speaking out. Dame Dash, the rapper's former business partner, and Ron, his former bodyguard, have been making some serious accusations, claiming that Jay-Z may have crossed some serious lines in order to succeed, rather than just stepping on toes.
Beyonce and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them. Hey, I get the threats, but you have to remember one thing. I know your deepest secrets. I know so much about you and what you've done. I know so much on how you got where you are.
Jay-Z's relationship with R. Kelly has also generated some controversy. Despite the numerous allegations of R. Kelly's wrongdoing, he continued to work with him. Some wondered if he was ignoring serious problems in order to maintain those partnerships. Additionally, 50 Cent recently claimed that Jay-Z attempted to sabotage his plans for a Super Bowl performance by putting pressure on the NFL. However, guess what? Eminem intervened and made sure 50 Cent got his shot. This has led some people to wonder if Sean is willing to tamper with other artists' opportunities if it serves his own agenda. Some people also speculated that they are both capitalists. I really believe that it is dangerous to romanticize the dynamics of a partnership in which each member is hoarding riches on their own behalf to a wider audience of those who lack the means to make a completely independent decision. To leave another added, she uses the other members of Destiny's Child as rungs on the ladder to her own success. So we should have realized that feminism and respect were just brand words to her.
If Oprah was watching this, what would you tell her?
I would say, Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, and stop hiding behind what you call was negative comments, what you call, oh, I don't even deal with things like that, because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are. Now I want you to understand something too. See, this is why me and Oprah Winfrey got a problem.
It's still there.
Until that woman says, let me apologize to you publicly, it'll be to the day I leave this earth. Because what you did was malicious, and it was intentional, and it was ugly. Because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are.
Let's talk about Oprah, the second queen of daytime television. However, it seems like more and more people are casting doubt on her reign, particularly in the Black community. We've seen Black artists, from legends to rising stars, speak out against Oprah, accusing her of mistreatment, exploitation, you name it. And what happened was that their stories were ignored and Oprah kept the conversation going. Now, 50 Cent is entering the ring, and he's not afraid of a billionaire he's calling Oprah out. saying she used Steve Harvey as a pawn in some scheme that hurt black actresses in the end. I'm not saying Oprah is the villain in all of this, but when 50 Cent begins to make such claims, you can be sure it will be explosive. He's not one to back down, and he has a history of calling out BS, so get ready for some messy and serious drama. Remember what happened to Mo'Nique? She has been vocal about the mistreatment she has received in Hollywood, blaming Tyler Perry and Oprah in particular. She has claimed for years that they were responsible for her being blackballed and denied opportunities because she dared to stand up for herself. Now consider this: what did Oprah do? Did she give Mo'Nique a platform to share her truth, as she has done for countless others? Did she use her influence to look into these claims? Nope. Did she even apologize for what she did? The answer is a resounding no. Mo'Nique's tale was neatly disregarded and brushed under the rug as if it had never occurred, but 50 Cent is aware of what's happening and is pointing out the hypocrisy. The dynamics of power and how some voices are silenced in this industry, particularly when it comes to strong people like Oprah, and he's not afraid to name names. Now, I'm not saying Oprah is the villain in all of this, but when 50 Cent starts making accusations, you can be sure it's going to get explosive because he doesn't back down and has a history of calling out bullshit. So get comfortable because things are going to get messy. Okay, so maybe now, at least temporarily, Oprah and Tyler Perry have distanced themselves from Mo'Nique. The rumors subsided, the headlines stopped, and they presumably thought that everyone would just go on. But 50 Cent isn't giving up, and he's claiming that their strategies haven't changed, just the players have discovered a new weapon in their purported arsenal. Steve Harvey considers Steve Harvey is a well-liked figure in the black community because he exudes a charm, relatability, and sense of being one of us that makes people trust him. However, the 50s allege they are using Steve's good name and influence to further their own agenda, which appears to involve sidelining certain black actresses who don't play the game or fit their mold. It seems like they've learned to wield their power in a more subtly sneaky way. They're no longer openly shutting people down. Instead, they're allegedly using proxies. Mo'Nique has long claimed that she was blackballed in Hollywood. However, the other day, she appeared on Steve Harvey's show, and let me tell you, things got real. Mo'Nique, always willing to speak her mind, discussed the blackballing incident and how she is still being punished for standing up for herself all these years ago.
I was there for a crash for the movie.
Yeah.
And basically she said something about not agreeing with my music, but she thought I did great in the movie. And of course I was up there with the whole cast of Crash.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't necessarily feel like that needed to be said. You know, you didn't agree with my music. And even if you don't agree with certain songs I've made, say you don't agree with certain songs, don't say you just don't agree with all of my views.
Right.
After she made a lot of money promoting the movie Precious, she asked to be paid for it. It seems reasonable, right? With all these famous people associated with the film making a lot of money, and her being the one putting in a lot of face time, it seems like that didn't sit well with Oprah, Tyler Perry, or Lee Daniels. The word on the street is that they shut her down big time. Mo'Nique, however, isn't one to just let things slide. She called them out in public, and that's when things turned sour. She was suddenly cut off from receiving offers. Her phone stopped ringing, and she found herself in a position of power. Now that she's on Steve, she's not afraid. She's been through the fire and is emerging triumphant. Mo'Nique was honest about the fallout from turning down these Hollywood heavyweights. She and her husband, Sydney, who doubles as her manager, were having trouble making ends meet. Opportunities were disappearing, and they were given the label difficult. Nevertheless, Mo'Nique didn't back down. She addressed Steve directly and said, "We got labeled as difficult because I said one word, and that was no. I said no to some powerful people." She told Harvey her deadline. "I said no to Tyler Perry. I declined both Lee Daniels and Lionsgate. The challenge arose when I was able to include my brother Steve Harvey on the list among others who resembled me, such as Oprah, Tyler, Lee Daniels. You all understood that I was right. You all told me, Mo'Nique, that you're not wrong." Then she dropped a bomb and called out Steve, Lee Daniels, and Oprah, Tyler Perry, claiming that they all agreed that she was right to demand equitable treatment. She even brought up an incident in which Steve allegedly claimed on air that she had burned too many bridges, and you could see the hurt in her eyes when she asked him. Steve tried to defend himself, claiming that she approached the situation incorrectly, but Mo'Nique wouldn't have any of it. She was there to speak her truth, and not even Steve Harvey could silence her. "We were labeled as difficult because I said the word no," she said. Steve, do you know how hurt I was? It was a powerful moment.
And almost had to walk away from Color Purple. Yes, ma'am. Who said what? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because you know what? If I don't take a stand, how am I making it easy for Fantasia and Danielle and Hallie and Felicia? Why am I doing this?
Now that I had turned down several very influential people, the problem arose when I had to include my brother Steve on the list with celebrities like Oprah Tyler Lee Daniels. She also added that all of you knew that I was right and that I wasn't wrong when you said, "My sister burned too many bridges and there's nothing I can do for her now." Steve, do you know how hurt I was? Harvey said, "I felt you had done yourself a disservice by the way you chose to go about it, saying that Mo'Nique had approached it incorrectly." Let's fast forward to 2018. Mo'Nique called for a boycott of Netflix, citing accusations of racial and gender inequality. She said that although white comedians like Amy Schumer were making millions of dollars, they were only offering her a meager $500,000 for a comedy special. Let's face it, people, we all know that gender pay disparities exist. Mo'Nique brought attention to a systemic problem that affects a great number of Black women working in the entertainment industry. The gap is genuine and is often amplified for Black women in Hollywood.
She never said my mother was coming on that show, because had Oprah Winfrey said, "I'm gonna have your mother," I would have said, "Shut it down. I don't need the world seeing how greedy my mother is. Shut that down." That's one of the reasons why we don't communicate, because of my mother and father's greed. So if you had given me the opportunity, I would have said, "I can't put my mother, that's still my mother."
Right.
Okay? Now here comes this show. And here comes the commercials. And now I'm starting to see my mother and my father and my other brother, who was my manager. We didn't discuss that, Oprah.
Wait, he was your manager and he went to Oprah?
Wasn't my manager at the time.
Okay.
By now I had already, fired him. So I'm watching this show, and I'm watching my father sit there, who was a strong alcoholic. I'm watching him drunk. I'm watching my mother be greedy. I'm watching my other brother, who was my manager, be greedy. I know my family. And I'm watching my brother who molested me sit on this stage, trying to paint this picture of I'm trying to be a help, but now I'm watching the scam. As much as they keep talking, I'm seeing the scam take place.
However, here's where things became even more fascinating. Steve retaliated against Mo'Nique's boycott, claiming that she failed to issue a clear call to action. He said, "What do you want people to do?" Mo'Nique discontinues their memberships. He even went so far as to suggest that the general public couldn't relate to Mo'Nique's complaints because she was already successful. It was as if he was suggesting that Mo'Nique was out of touch, that her experiences as a Black woman in Hollywood were somehow invalid because she was already successful, but Mo'Nique wasn't having it. She knew she was right to demand fair pay, and she wasn't going to back down, even if it meant facing criticism from her own community and standing up to powerful corporations. You know what? Her willingness to speak out and call out BS, even when it's uncomfortable, is powerful. It serves as a reminder that all of us have a voice and the freedom to use it to fight for our beliefs. The problem you had at Netflix is one that affects the wealthy people, because they assume that since you're talking about millions of people, you must be cool. After expressing her disagreement, Mo'Nique went after Harvey, saying, "I would have appreciated his support had my brother called me and said, 'Let's talk.'" Harvey responded, saying he had a serious issue with Mo'Nique going on stage during a stand-up comedy show and claiming that Daniels, Winfrey, and Perry could suck her D when you made that statement. Harvey said, "We can't cure darkness with more darkness," flipping the narrative. Mo'Nique, being Mo'Nique, didn't back down from a fight, especially when she knew she was in the right. You could see Steve growing more and more irate. He'd gone from trying to reason with her to practically pleading with her to see things his way. It was obvious he didn't agree with her approach. But beneath it all, you could tell there was still love there. That's when Steve got real too. He looked at Mo'Nique, and you could tell he meant it when he said he loved her like a sister. He didn't think she was going about it the right way. He thought she was alienating people who could help her. And he couldn't watch it happen. "I want people to know that you are kind, a wonderful mother, and an amazing talent. I detest what's happening to you, and everything they're saying is untrue." The thing is, throughout the entire interview, it felt like Steve was trying to control the narrative to fit Mo'Nique's story into a neat little box that made sense to him. Every time Mo'Nique tried to explain her side, to talk about the disrespect and the missed opportunities, the way she felt belittled and dismissed by powerful people who claimed to be her allies, he would say, "I don't like the fact that you've been blackballed. You can be unblackballed. You're too talented to have to worry about all of this." Steve would cut her off. He'd tell her she was going about it the wrong way, that she was being too aggressive, that she needed to apologize for her tone, that she needed to play the game. If she wanted to get ahead, he even tried to go back and tell her he loved her and called her his sister and you. Know what? That's part of the problem right there. Why should Mo'Nique have to apologize for speaking her truth? Why should she have to shrink herself, soften her words to make herself more palatable to people who hold all the power? Why should she have to play a game that's rigged against her from the start, a game where black women are often punished for being assertive, for demanding what they deserve? And Mo'Nique, you could see the frustration building in her eyes. She kept trying to explain that she wasn't angry, she was hurt, she'd been wrong, blackballed, silenced, and all she wanted was to be heard, to be treated fairly, to be seen as a human being with valid feelings and experiences. But Steve wasn't having it. He kept steering the conversation back to his own points, his own opinions, and it felt like Mo'Nique's voice was being drowned out, just like it had been all those years ago when she first spoke out against the injustices she'd faced. He even mentioned that in order to move forward, they need to apologize to her, and then he said that she needs to apologize to them as well. And that's where the conspiracy theories come in, because let's be real, folks, this is Hollywood, where power plays and back row deals are practically a national sport, and a lot of people are whispering that Oprah and Tyler Perry, with all their influence and connections, might have had something to do with Steve's change of heart. Did they get to him? Did they offer him a sweet deal, a role in a movie, a spot on their network, or a primetime special in exchange for putting Mo'Nique in her place? Or maybe it was more of a threat, a subtle reminder that if he didn't play ball, if he didn't toe the line, he could find himself on the outs. To remember, Oprah and Tyler Perry are kingmakers in this industry. They can make or break careers with a single phone call, so it's not a stretch to imagine them using their power to silence someone who dared to challenge them, someone who dared to speak truth to power. And Steve, as beloved as he is still a part of this system. He's built a successful career within the confines of this industry, and he knows better than anyone that there are consequences for biting the hand that feeds you. We may never know for sure what went on behind closed doors, but the speculation is out there, and it's fueling the fire of this whole drama. And then later, he tried to do damage control almost a week after a heated argument between Harvey and Mo'Nique unfolded on air. The host is reflecting on his choice of words. "When I speak, I have to speak more slowly." At a celebrity family feud event in Los Angeles on Sunday, Harvey, 62, revealed this to the audience. "I have to basically watch what I say more carefully and avoid getting into arguments with others. I accept full responsibility for what I say and cannot claim not to have said it." Harvey revealed it, but only to those who really knew me. "I've always been an honest man. So when I talked about integrity in that interview, I was talking about the way things were being done. That's all I did. I never questioned anyone's morality or the reasons behind their actions. Instead, I was just asking questions about the approach she took to complete the 50 minutes of the interview. Looking back, I regret the words I used." Harvey said he hopes his young fans will understand where he's coming from. He did end the interview on a good note and agree to his faults, but being Oprah's pawn, he didn't make it easy for her. Her eyes shouted out, "And it happened, I regret it, but I want young people, the kids that come to my camps, the young people that I mentor, the fans that really respect me, to know to just charge that one to my head and not to my heart," he said. "Because in my heart, that is not what I have asked anyone to do. I have lived my whole life as a man of integrity, and I will stand on that, but I was really just talking about the method that they went about doing what they did, and that was it." He also said, "I'm going to try and arrange, I'm going to do my best to get the conversations that need to be had between you and these people so you can hear from them." He told her, "I'm going to then ask them, will they say it publicly for the benefit of everybody, so you can get the release that you need? Then I'm going to ask you to tell these people and apologize for some bashing that you did. When everybody can come to that, that's a chance for us to move forward."
Hey, my loves, I am asking that you stand with me and boycott Netflix for gender bias and color bias. I was offered a $500,000 deal last week to do a comedy special. However, Amy Schumer was offered $11 million, Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle $20 million. Then Amy Schumer went back and renegotiated $2 more million because she said, I shouldn't get what the men are getting, they're legends. However, I should get more, and Netflix agreed. When we asked Netflix to explain the difference, why the money was so different, they said, well, we believe that's what Mo'Nique will bring. We said, well, what about my resume? They said, we don't go off of resumes. Then we asked them, what was it about Amy Schumer? And they said, well, she sold out Madison Square Garden twice, and she had a big movie over the summer. Is that not Amy Schumer's resume? And then Netflix said, by the way, we believe Mo'Nique is a legend too. Why should I get what the legends are getting? Please stand with me in this boycott of Netflix. I love us for real.
Now that Steve is siding with the moguls, 50 Cent is speaking out. According to 50 Cent, they not only wronged Mo'Nique, but also a number of other black actresses. 50 Cent is calling Oprah out, claiming that she is attempting to blacklist Raji P. Henson, just as she allegedly did Mo'Nique. Guess who's in the crosshairs once more? Taraji, who dared to speak out about how Oprah allegedly treated her on the set of The Color Purple, is the target of Steve Harvey, 50, who claims that Oprah is using Steve to carry out her vendetta against Taraji. Taraji kept it real when she discussed how black women in the industry are constantly undervalued and underpaid, and how they have to fight tooth and nail for every scrap, while their white counterparts are raking in the big bucks. Taraji's remarks about the low pay and disrespect she's faced in Hollywood during the press tour apparently didn't sit well with Oprah.
Well, then what does that make you? Everybody reminds you of you? Or do you just say things in the moment? So when I say to our community, I know Oprah Winfrey when the curtains are closed. I know her when the cameras aren't running. That's why Oprah Winfrey does not want to sit down publicly with me nor my husband to have a conversation, because within minutes, the community would know who Oprah Winfrey really was. Because what she's not used to is anybody asking her any questions. I'm the deliverer. I'm the author. I'm the authority of all life and all beings. And I know it all. And someone would ask, well, how?
Word on the street is that Oprah blamed Taraji for the film's less than starry box office performance, saying that her negativity scared away viewers. As a result, studios are reportedly dropping Taraji from projects left and right, and no one wants to work with her coin incidents. This is what seems to have set Oprah off. Whether you believe 50 Cent or not, you have to realize that this entire issue is sticky. He is out there claiming to have receipts for proof of Oprah's sinister plot to ruin Taraji's career, and he isn't scared to spill the tea. It's about who gets to write the story in Hollywood, about power, and about the systematic sexism and racism that black women must deal with on a daily basis.
So when it comes to Oprah Winfrey, let me be clear so people... I'm a little black fat girl from Baltimore, Maryland. And I saw this fat black woman on a TV show called People Are Talking that was a local show. And she had big shoulders and a big bush and big feet like me. And I said, wow, when I grow up, that's what I want to do. And then we took a field trip to that studio. And I hugged that woman. And I said, when I grow up, Miss Winfrey, I want to do what you do. And she said, you know, you got to work really hard. So the day I walked out on that stage to the Oprah Winfrey Show, and I was promoting Roscoe Jenkins. And after that show, that woman hugged me and said, when I look at you, I ain't doing nothing but looking at me. And then when I remind her that that's what she said to me, she says, oh, I say that to everybody.
In your opinion, is Steve now anti-Mo'Nique and others? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you liked the video, please click the subscribe button and press the bell symbol to be notified when I release my next one. Every week, I provide updates like this one in which I reveal the trade secrets of your favorite celebs.